my channel. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. We're currently working in C#, but everything we do here can be done in Java, Python, and virtually any programming language, as you will soon discover. Boolean variables, flags. There's a whole new data type we haven't explored yet, and it's an easy one to overlook. You don't use it much, but when you do, it's very effective. So, what is this new Boolean data type? Simple. It's a one-byte variable that can only be set to 0 or 1. It represents true or false. Can't be anything else. But it's very useful when needed. How to use it? Well, you give it a name, any name, and then assign a value to true or false. A simple if statement can interrogate the Boolean value and send your program down one path or another. I use this guy a lot when I wrote report programs for clients. I would set up a Boolean called new page, for example, and I would set it to true. When the report program ran, it would interrogate new page. If new page, true or false, if new page, then print page header, add 1 to page count, and print page number. Then set new page to false. That's what it did. The program would continue on its merry way, printing line after line of user data. And with each line, it would add one line to another and add 1 to counter. When each line was printed, an if statement would then interrogate that line number. If it was greater than 45, 50, or whatever, depending on the number of lines you actually want to print on the page, you would then set the new page Boolean to true. Just before the next line would print, it would ask the if statement, if new page, then print header, add 1 to page count, and print page number. Then set new page to false. Works very well in report programs and reading files. We haven't gotten there yet, but when you are reading a disk file full of data, it's always good to know when you're done. A Boolean variable is your answer. So let's take a look at this kind of thing, see what happens here. This is the loan qualifier program. We've used it before in a number of instances, and what I want to do is I want to use it just to show you how simply you can use Booleans in it to make the decisions happen. It's interesting. I've been teaching a C# class right now recently, and my students, as they got further on in the class, were confused about Booleans, and that concerned me a bit. We're going to use them a lot more as we get into loops and methods and file processing, but getting a good understanding of them now and what they are. They're nothing very difficult about them. They're very, very simple. But I want to go into this code right here. Remember this program? We did this earlier. Where it just kind of figures out if the amount of loan. I think we started real quickly just to get a sample of what's going on here. Basically, we end up putting in annual salary of $40,000 and the years of the current job of 3 years, and check the qualification, and we qualify for the loan. If we were only 1 year in, we would end up not qualifying for the loan. So there's a decision going on there, making it happen. We looked at this with if-else ifs. We looked at it with logical statements, things of that nature. But I want to go in here and change this to Booleans once, so you get a good idea of what's actually happening here. So I'm going to go into the code window and look at the decision piece on here, and it's right here. Using the and we can actually go here and look at this if we qualify for the loan or not. Both these things had to happen. But we can say here, we can actually create a couple of Booleans. I'm going to go up here and create these Booleans. I'm going to say Boolean. I'll use bool and say BLN. I like to begin with BLN, so I've got Boolean in there for the name. And I want to call this, I'll call this salary is good. And I'll make that equal to false. And this is going to hold my salary qualification. Then when I set another one up, Boolean, BLN, years are good. Years are good. And make that equal to false. And hold year qualification. And that's all I need to say. Now I'm going to go down here, and after I've read in the salary and after I've read in the years, I'm going to kind of ask what that is. It's going to seem a little redundant because we're actually going to add a little bit more code than we need to here, but this will show you how they're used so that when we get into them further on, they'll make more sense to you. What I'm going to say is if salary, DBL salary is greater than or equal to 40,000. Then I'm simply going to say, I think I need to put quotes around this thing, or parentheses around it. I'm going to say Boolean salary is good is equal to true. That's all I need to say. Then I'm going to say down here, I'm going to ask it if DBL years, that we call it down here. Let's see. Yeah, DBL years. DBL years is greater than or equal to, what is it, 2? I think it is 2, yeah, 2. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say Boolean years are good or equal to true. Then I'm simply going to say here, I'm going to change this totally. I'm just going to say if BLN salary is good and Boolean BLN years are good. Doesn't like something. BLN years are good. Years are good. Could get that S in there. Good. Then we get the loan. So basically, we're changing it. It doesn't look very, very different. We did add this piece in here, which is going to actually set our Booleans. But when we look down here, we're changing it to an English statement. If salary is good, BLN salary is good, and years are good, we qualify for a loan. So it gives the structure of this sentence more meaning. It looks English. You know, you could even use the word salary is good instead of BLN salary is good. I'm using the Hungarian notation there. But I can read this statement much better than trying to look at the less than or equal to signs in this thing. It's just making the statement appear this way. So if Boolean salary is good and Boolean years are good, you qualify for a loan. And I could go further. I could say if salary's good, I could ask, you know, and just ask if salary's good, and then I could say, well, you know, we don't, you know, our years aren't good, or if the years are good, the salary's not good. By continuing on with another couple of else statements if I wanted to on this thing. But this is really the purpose I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you that this is an English-like statement now. It makes sense, and you can use this as we get further into looping and file processing to ask if the file is finished or if your loop is done. A whole bunch of things you can add. You can ask to determine whether or not you should stop processing or go a different path in your program. So that's really what it's all about. You'll have much more reason to use Booleans when we learn loops and file processing and methods. But it's good to see it now and get that start. Booleans help you make your code more readable. For now, what you need to take out of this video is a Boolean is simply a one-byte variable representing true or false. Typically, they are used in if statements. Another name for them is a flag. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, please subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.